Welcome in to I Remember My First Time. Don't be nasty, Jacob. Not that first time.
Damn it.
This is a podcast about cinematic awakenings,
I like the sound of that.
where we talk about movies we love with someone who just popped their cherry to that movie.
Oh, yeah, that sounds real good.
Jacob, are all the movies we do on this podcast going to be good movies?
God, I hope not.
Do we like shitty movies?
Oh, we love shitty movies. Sometimes, even more than good movies.
Are we critics?
Absolutely not.
But do we love movies?
Oh, we love the shit out of movies. And this week's shit piece is the 2024 classic Kevin Hart Netflix original heist movie, Lift.
Jacob, I really love that NFT.
BJ. Oh shit. Got me NATO.
What the fuck?
You can't read for shit, bro.
Oh shit. Get me NATO.
I am BJ Leica, and I can see the answer to the question that's not on the blackboard.
So stupid. So stupid.
I told you.
Joined as always by me, Jacob Beakus. And let's get ready to wait for it. Lift.
Did this movie set a record for number of times the title of the movie is said in the movie?
I think so. And we are joined today by the ultimate rule follower, so he'll never be part of the heist. My brother, David Ekus, the number one listener and our number one guest. It's not even close.
Not even close. And it's going to stay that way, my friends. It's going to stay that way.
The one who recommended this movie to us.
And I apologize in advance. So you guys already know my opinion, even the listeners.
Actually, this is a good test because my claim has always been heist movies is like pizza. Even the bad ones are like, pretty good. This movie tested this theory to the limits.
Yes. You know the Avatar 2 movie where they say bro entirely too many times?
Neither one of us has wasted the time to see Avatar 2. You're the only one on this podcast.
Avatar 2, they say bro too many times. And this movie, I thought they were going to go down that road with Lift. The way they're going, we got to lift it. And I'm just like, if I could reach into the screen and slap somebody, I would have done it.
Jacob, you should not watch Avatar 2. You should watch the whale hunt scene in Avatar 2.
Wait, so you've seen Avatar 2?
Probably about an hour and 20 minutes of it.
It's a 3-hour movie, so the point that they still
so I watched a third of it.
You watched a third of it, and the fact that there were still plot holes in a 3-hour movie really just grinds my gears beyond anything.
The fact that he's coming out with a third one, we're gonna have
4 of them, I think.
Oh my god, we're gonna have 15 hours of Avatar movies and James Cameron's original take on colonialism. as he says and tweets nothing about the Free Palestine movement, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. We're not going to get into it on a movie podcast.
I think the people who listen know. All right, so Lift, a movie described by Netflix as a professional thief and his expert crew attempt the ultimate heist, stealing $500 million in gold from a vault on a plane 40,000 feet in the air.
I loved all the commas.
There was so many commas. And I'm going to be honest with you, my plot summary has just as many commas.
I love it.
So here's the plot summary. Kevin Hart leads a crew of art thieves whose latest heist gets them caught by Interpol. However, Interpol has a deal for them. If they can pull off the heist of some rich capitalist asshole who plans on using a terrorist attack to make his stocks go up or some shit, I don't know. As always, the original plan goes awry, and the heroes have to improvise to get the job done. Of course, they save the day and get the job done and earn their freedom, along with $500 million. And, oh yeah, Kevin Hart falls in love with the lead Interpol agent.
I wouldn't say he falls in love with the lead Interpol agent. I'd say he was always in love with her, and he just had to make her fall in love with him, and he did it.
Great.
Yeah, I just don't think he pulled off that, like, he tried to pull off like this overconfident like heist master, and it's just he didn't fit that role. So the whole time he was like acting like this cocky badass. I did not buy it the entire time. That's one of my like pet peeves about the movie. I don't hate him as an actor. He's a good actor, but this was not the role for him.
Yeah, we'll get into it a little bit more, but
okay, yeah.
There's many problems with this movie. That's probably the root of it. Is not that Kevin Hart's bad. He's just not George Clooney in Ocean's 11.
Yeah. Maybe we just had too big of high expectations, but also I'm getting ahead of us.
I didn't.
This movie is rated 5.5 out of 10 by IMDb.
Too high.
30% by Rotten Tomatoes.
Too high.
And because the critics know what they're talking about and rate this movie much higher than the audience, a 40% Metacritic score.
Too high.
I'm convinced there's movies that I just heard another podcast that said this. There's movies where if you actually do even the slightest bit of research into the early reviews on a movie, they're all people that are related to people who made the movie or something like that. Like they're paid for like reviews.
Well, the critics aren't.
No, but I'm saying like some movies have like reviews and they're all like, if you like dug deep into it, they're all like people who, I don't know.
Shane
like,
Hart.
Yeah, something like that.
That's not the case on IMDb.
Well, that's good.
And let me tell you, I didn't pick a bad review that says cookie cutter, but if I read one more cookie cutter movie script ever, I'm going to fucking shoot somebody.
Oh, that leads us right into the critics' review. So I took excerpts from 3 different reviews, and here you go, Jacob. Cool. In my defense, it doesn't say cookie cutter, but it pretty much says cookie cutter. Practically every scene is a cliche. Every line of dialogue an echo of a better one you've already heard in a better film.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another excerpt from a different review. I didn't write the authors down because I didn't really care. At the end of the journey, Lift ends up as a double disappointment. It doesn't work as a comedy, it doesn't work as an action film, and its claim to a heist movie subgenre is tenuous at best. And finally, I really like this one. Start the new year off wrong with another Kevin Hart misfire that doesn't even try to be funny, preferring to slide by as a humdrum heist movie that steals time you'll never get back.
That's fact.
That is how I felt. I got done watching the movie and I'm just like, well, there's an hour and 40 minutes I'll never fucking get back.
They lifted from you.
Oh, God, fuck you.
Yes, BJ. That is correct.
I swear when I first saw this movie come out, I swear it was under the comedies category. And I went back today and looked through Netflix. They moved it out of the comedy. Like I looked through all their comedies. I swear they took it out. And I was like, I know that it was there in the comedy section, and it's not there anymore. Like it's in some other category.
I will stand up for my man Vincent D'Onofrio and the Safecracker. They were funny.
Yeah, but that doesn't make the whole movie a comedy just because you have one funny character in it.
The Safecracker was my favorite character in the movie. I didn't get anything from Vincent D'Onofrio. Was like, okay, cool. He had like one funny scene and he was putting on a long beard like Kill Bill. That's it. Mm-hmm. But I'll go out for the Safecracker and the guy that FDR'd it up in the movie.
I could tell this was a Netflix movie just because it would zoom into
Jacob
certain
really
people's
wanted-
faces for no
Jacob
reason.
really wanted
Sorry.
us to laugh at his FDR
No,
joke.
I did.
We just laid out on
I
it.
did. Maybe if I would have made it a Greg Abbott joke, he just Greg Abbotted into the movie.
That
It's
probably
the
would
same
have
thing.
landed. I don't know. I still probably would have.
I know
just
it's
did exactly
the same
did.
thing. I know it's the same thing, but fuck you both for not laughing.
Says, I know my historical wheelchair figures, asshole.
Yeah. So for not laughing double time.
What do you got for a budget on this movie, Jacob?
All right, here's my budget. I have no idea what it made because it's a streaming movie. I do know that Kevin Hart said that he expects this movie to do extremely well, and in the first week, a ton of people did watch it. So he expects to make more movies in the Lift universe with the same crew.
Ugh.
Yeah, so let's hope that
really,
doesn't happen. Let's
that
hope,
makes me very
let's
sad.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen. But they spent $100 million on this movie.
What?
$100 million.
I would believe it if they actually filmed in the locations that it showed, but I really They did because I got like a weird green screen vibe from this movie.
Oh, probably only in the plane. They filmed. In fact, let's go ahead and do it because I have so little trivia. On June 2nd, 2022, they were in Ward Park, Bangor County, down Northern Ireland. On the 20th, 23rd, and 24th of May, they were in Miramar, Trist, Italy. On May 2nd, or May 9th and May 19th, they were in Venice, Italy. And the shots on the River Delgi Cicciolini in Venice were shot on May 10th, 2022. They were there.
Okay.
I would just like to say that I am not a certified financial advisor, and this is by no means advice for anyone. If Netflix is dropping $100 million on a movie, sell your fucking Netflix stock now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I don't have Netflix stock because I know that Netflix is on. I hypothesize that it's on its way out with all the other streaming services they have. That Netflix isn't going to last forever. They're the most expensive streaming service, I'm pretty sure.
Not if you pay for one screen.
No. Yeah, that's true. But who does that? If we all share each other's shit.
The person with no kids. It's the only streaming service I pay for, that and Spotify. Other than that, I say, hey, David, do you have Amazon Prime?
I have all the streamings, and you use all of them.
Except for HBO.
Yeah.
I got someone else's HBO.
You don't even have...
Anyways, what's next on our movie review? Our thoughts on the movie. Here we go. I'll go first because I've been dying to say this. Lift falls flat and lets you down and disappoints you. Kind of like my dad and both my stepdads.
You're no stranger to disappointment.
I'm not. I only liked one character in this movie, and he was too over the top, to be honest. And like I said, that's a lie. I like the guy that Greg Abbotted his way through this movie that y'all didn't laugh at. But this movie sucked. And I couldn't care less about the story, the characters, what was going to happen to them, the love story, or anything. The only reason I paid attention for an hour and 40 minutes is because I had a hard time finding 4 scenes. Just the longer the movie went on, I'm just like, where the fuck are my 4 scenes going to come from? So, how'd y'all feel?
Well,
David?
I'll go next since we know BJ has a little bit of a different opinion. I felt almost the exact way, and I was really sad that I suggested this movie because I knew that it was going to go one of two ways. It was either going to be a really good heist movie, or it was going to be what it turned out to be, where Kevin Hart tried, in my opinion, too hard to be a lead man when he's not a lead man. He's a good movie actor, but not a lead man, especially in a heist movie. It needed to be something like, you guys know the movie Jumanji, where it's like The Rock and him. Like The Rock would have been a better. I don't know if that's coming up in our another thing. But I just feel like
Yeah.
Kevin Hart should not have been the lead. I feel like he would have been
The Rock could have been the lead. Mark Wahlberg could have been the lead. Hell, Will Ferrell would have done a better fucking job as a lead in this heist movie.
Yeah, and Kevin Hart could have been that funny safecracker, because they had the comedy relief. Not that Kevin the safecracker did a bad job. I mean, would do a bad. Not that the safecracker did a bad job. I'm just saying, if you're going to have Kevin Hart in it, make him in the comedy part of it.
Yeah, Kevin Hart needs to be one of the crew, and he needs to be the comic relief.
Yeah.
Yep.
He needs to be the Casey Affleck and Scott Conn.
Yeah, and nothing against his size, but when you're the shortest guy in the room, when you're supposed to be, the head honcho and everyone's supposed to listen to you, I don't know. That just was like, you don't have the presence. It was just weird. I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
I didn't mean.
No. Just know that if our dad ever undisowns us, I'm going to tell him what you said about short people, because that fucker's short too.
I support short kings. Don't listen to these guys. All my short kings listening.
I'm not saying he himself just didn't pull it off, and his size didn't help. That's all I'm saying.
So this is really weird to me, because after I watched this movie, I was like, I had a good time. Does it have its problems? Yes, a lot of them. Now, 4 days removed from watching it, I'm having a hard time remembering anything from this movie. And what it did is, because we just released Interceptor not too long ago from the recording of this podcast, it gave me a lot of Interceptor vibes. It was trying to do way too much. You've got to pick in a heist movie. You've got to pick what you're going to be. You can't be an action movie and a suspense movie and a love story movie. Like, you just got to pick one and go with it. Stop trying to do too much shit. And yeah, this one really tests the limits to my theory of even Little Caesar's Pizza is pretty good. I'm not sure this movie's pretty good.
You were when you first watched it, but like you're saying, as you're more removed from the movie and you try to think back on it, you're like, man, that really wasn't that good. It's almost like you said, like shitty pizza. When you eat it, like you remember, like, that's pretty good. But then when you think back on it, like, I don't really want Little Caesars again. I'd rather get like Pizza Hut or Domino's or something.
And BJ, I just want to let you know about your pizza theory. It doesn't totally work. I mean, as long as you're in Western countries, it works. I've had some shit fucking pizza here in Vietnam.
Oh,
pizza!
Yeah.
I never want again.
Yeah, let me rephrase that. That's American pizza, Western pizza.
And that's what this movie was. This movie was Vietnamese pizza.
Was this movie
so
Vietnamese
for our
pizza
future,
or all
Vietnamese
your father
listeners,
figures?
I'm sorry.
They know. That's why there's so many random pizza places here, because a lot of them are shit. Some of them are good. I will say that. Try to reel back in my Vietnamese listeners. The one that's here. Me.
So this will be quick. The only thing I liked about the movie was I kind of enjoyed it while watching it. That's really all I can say.
I liked nothing about this movie. Not a goddamn thing.
Yeah, I have to be with Jacob. I really thought hard on this, thinking I got to find something good about this movie, and I just can't. Any movie that I've never seen that I fall asleep on, that automatically makes it a bad movie, just on its own merit. And I couldn't think of anything good about it. I tried.
So I'll say what I didn't like about the movie as the person who liked the movie the most. The one and obvious part is Kevin Hart just does not have the charisma to pull off the leading man of a heist movie, which isn't really a knock against him. That's a really high bar that has to have the absolute right actor. Kevin Hart wasn't it. The biggest issue, though, I think I had, why the fuck is there two bad guys in a heist movie?
Yeah, that was so weird. Like, why do you have two bad? And then real quick, just to say what you're saying about Kevin Hart, if you're gonna be the lead heist man, at least don't be all serious. Like you're known for being a comedy guy. Make it funny. I don't know. Like why did he go super serious? I didn't like that.
Because he finds the answers that aren't on the blackboard.
Fuck you. I can't. I can't. I feel like a blonde teenager. I can't even. But yeah, two bad guys was insane. Two. Like,
because I think we mentioned. Was it the Italian Job where we mentioned like the bad movie doesn't matter in a heist movie. We're not watching it for the bad guy. We're watching it for the heist. And they were like, "Oh yeah, what if we had two bad guys?" And I was like, "I care even fucking less."
And I just, I guess maybe it's just because like the two bad guys. And then what really annoyed me is that when they got to the bad guy's house, he had like 3 bodyguards. You're going to say that this guy is one of the richest men in the world and you got 3 guys protecting you at your house? Fuck off.
And also, his other bodyguards died on the plane.
Yeah, no, that was his like protection team for the goal. That wasn't his personal bodyguards.
They're multifaceted, David.
Whatever.
This is a movie with layers.
Two bad guys, world ending. I'm sorry to keep cutting you off, BJ. I just hate this movie.
The last thing is the twist of what they actually did to get the money. It was like, oh yeah, the one guy stayed back and we dropped it. And I was like, that's it? That was your big twist that you were hiding from us? Ugh,
I told you earlier, I forgot that happened because I didn't care. I was like, I was like, whatever happened to that other guy? And you told me what happened. I was like, oh yeah. See, I still don't. Changes nothing for me.
He was my favorite. He's like, I can't do this. The risk is too high.
I didn't believe him for 1 second that he wasn't involved. Not 1 second.
Of course, Homegirl's like, what are we gonna do?
And then Kevin Hart's like, it's okay, man. We understand. We love you. We'll see you later. I'm just like, I don't believe this at all, that he's not involved. You're fooling no one.
I love that scene in their prep area where he's just like, the risk is too high. I'm not gonna ask you. I told y'all when we all got started that I'd never put y'all in danger. Yeah, how do you do that? You're world-class criminals, and you're just like, hey, I'm setting up a team, and I'm never going to put y'all in danger. We're going to be doing illegal stuff, but no one's ever going to be in danger.
If Dom Toretto said that line, you'd think it was the greatest line of all time.
That's the point, I think, that Kevin...
Because Dom Toretto would be like, I never was going to put y'all in danger. My family.
We're not a heist team. We're family.
We're family. And I can't do this to my family. I've already lost my girlfriend once.
I'm my best friend, Brian.
And why were my biggest pet peeve along with DJs is why I don't need my heist people to be the good guys either. Like they just need to be in it for a heist. Like why did they make a point in the movie to say that they only stole from people that could afford it? Like why is that part of this? Like just do the heist.
That's going to be the only thing I highlight on things I didn't like about this movie because I didn't like a goddamn thing. But just backpacking off what David said, they don't need to be good guys. So I didn't understand that. Like, why are you going to go on this good guy thing where you only steal from people that can afford it? And then 2, why would we focus so much on homegirls like, but we're going to save a ton of people? Don't leave with that. Nobody cares. Yes, you do. You only steal from people that can afford it. You do care about saving people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't be both of those people.
Yeah, they definitely. I didn't even realize that till you're saying it. They did try to play both cards. Like,
see, and I think that's part of like the AI feel that I get that this movie was written by an AI robot because it was like, oh, we need some Fast and the Furious in here, and we need some Ocean's 11 in here, and we need some French Connection in here, and some Italian Job in here, and it was like, Stop it. Stop
Yeah.
it.
I don't need there to be world stakes in my heist movie. I don't need world stakes.
And the love story sucked.
The love story was garbage.
Scenes. Like, okay, establish the love scenes, not take. I almost went and just like timed the love scene and didn't care enough to do it, but it was entirely too long. Where they were like telling each other, like in bonding, and there was just like this is too long.
You would have had to rewind the movie a little bit, and it's like, hell no, I'm not gaining any of this. Yeah. I'm not watching any of this shit again. I do not care.
It wasn't just.
But anyways,
one scene. They did like scenes.
All right, we gotta move on. We can be done talking about this shit movie. Just quick question: was it a good or a bad movie? I'll answer it. It's a shitty movie. It's not even a bad movie.
It's not shitty. It's just bad.
No. It's shitty.
No, it's shitty.
Sorry, BJ. You're wrong. You can have the Grinch calling the Grinch a shitty movie. This is our movie. This movie's fucking shit.
Infinitely better than the Grinch.
Nope. Not even a little bit.
Oh God. If you're gonna say that, I can't even...
David's like, I'm leaving the recording.
Agree to disagree.
Fuck this.
Just like agree to disagree. Like we're gonna be Ron Burgundy in this and tell you San Diego is a whale's vagina. Like agree to disagree.
Actually, scholars maintain that they lost the meaning hundreds of years ago. BJ, what are your 4 favorite scenes? Mount Rushmore of scenes.
Number 4. Fake airplane bathroom sex.
Great scene.
It's short, but it was like the one time, like, I guess one of the 2 times the movie was kind of had suspense intensity to it, and it was kind of funny too.
I didn't get any suspense and intensity to this, but I thought it was funny.
Yeah, like that's the vibe the whole movie should have gone with. Although it's a funny scene. Kevin Hart's in it. Kevin Hart's not funny. But... I don't. Oh, when the guy was knocking on the door, you didn't think he was going to bust in?
Nope.
Okay.
I did not.
That's what's weird too.
I didn't think the bad guys were going to do much of anything on the plane until they started doing stuff. I'm like, you're definitely not going to open the bathroom door. I don't believe it.
Oh, yep. No. It wasn't him knocking on the door. Now I remember. It was, were they going to put it together in time? Which, of course, they were. Like, it's a heist movie, but it was still, like, suspenseful.
Okay. I guess there was some suspense to it, but it's still... I wasn't sitting on the edge of my seat even a little bit.
Number 3 is right after that, when the bad guys start shooting vape cartridge guns on the plane. And I'm like, oh, Kevin Hart's also a fucking jiu-jitsu expert. Okay, cool. You guys gonna bring this up at any point? Should have been a better scene than it was. This should have been the number 1 scene, but it's not because they executed it really poorly. Second favorite scene was when they were on the private plane and the UN was about to shoot them down. And I thought that was a much cooler fight. I thought that was much more fun. I thought the private jet played a lot into that fun. I loved the rollover with the message from the foreshadowing earlier in the movie where they had the message scrolled across. And I thought this scene was actually a legitimately fun scene.
I mean, that was a good scene, all in all. It was the only time I was kind of like, okay. Ironically enough, it's not my number 1 scene, but yeah.
And my favorite scene is after the initial heist, the party on the yacht, and explaining what they did in that heist. I thought that was a super clever heist. And it had nothing to do with the rest of the movie. But at the time, I thought the yacht scene was fun. I thought Ned from Spider-Man was awesome as the NFT artist. And I loved the plan that they hatched together to get that, kidnap him, get the story, sell the NFT for more.
My number, that made my list too.
At this point, you were just like, this is going to actually be pretty good.
Yeah, I really thought that. I was a little disappointed with the initial heist, But like when they showed that part, I was like, oh, okay. Like this is pretty clever. This isn't just we're going to steal the gold and replace it with the fake gold we made like they've done in 20 movies before. And that's what they ended up doing. And it was real disappointing. But the party on the yacht was fun.
Yeah, all right, David, your top four.
The part. I had a really hard time concentrating and getting a top five. My friend was the same scene with just because it was the one bit as your number 4, BJ, was because it was the one part of the movie where it tried to be funny, but it still didn't land for me though. It was like because Kevin Hart wasn't trying to be funny in that. That's what annoyed me. I was like, this is a scene where you can at least try to be funny, and you're being 100% serious. That's why it's my number 4. My number 3 was the very first scene before the boat, because I split into 2 different ones. Just because at least it was a heist part, but I did not like that. Like they played it off like it went perfectly, and then they said they still got caught. That didn't make sense to me.
Made no sense.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we pulled off the perfect heist, but also we didn't. I was like, then why have the scene saying it went off perfectly? Like I don't. It just.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They showed D'Onofrio getting caught, but they didn't show the other 2 guys in London getting caught.
Exactly. So it just didn't make sense. Because D'Onofrio or whatever, they said they caught them for the painting, but he was there bidding on the NFT. So it didn't make sense. I don't know. But like you said, that had a very AI feel to it. Like an AI put that in there. I have to have some kind of conflict. My number 2 scene was that fun scene where the plane's getting shot down. I include that in the whole heist. At least I've included both heist scenes. Both of them had a lot of flaws in it though, so I had a hard time putting them on there. And then my first one was just the boat scene where they drove up the price on it. I kind of gave it its own scene because I hated the whole movie. But that was the one bit where I was like, it was fun. They were partying. I don't know. I just hate this movie so much.
I went a different route than David. I included a bunch of stuff in my top 4 because it was hard to narrow down anything to smaller scenes. My number 4 scene is the whole intro, the heist and the boat. Mm-hmm. At this point, I thought the movie was pretty good. Thought we were going to get a pretty decent movie out of it. I enjoyed it. And like y'all have already said, the NFT part and driving up the price of that was pretty dope.
It's so clever. That part was so clever.
That's why I thought the movie was. Yeah, I thought the movie was going to be good, just like Jacob said. I thought, ooh, this is a promising movie.
Yeah, exactly, which is why I had to make the Mount Rushmore. Number 3 scene is the planning the job. Thought that was there was a couple funny moments in this, and the planning the job in the heist movie, that scene should always be pretty good. This was definitely the worst one I've seen, but that's why it made my Mount Rushmore. But you get Vincent D'Onofrio and Kevin talking about the love stuff. I thought that was funny just with the look. Like, you give her the look. Thought that was slightly amusing. I love the safe cracker, whatever, the locksmith, whatever the fuck you call those guys. You know how much I like Risk. That made me think of David, because David fucking loves that board game and will play that shit for hours on end. Right when he said that, I was like, oh, it's a call out to David and his fucking board games he likes playing. And then the same with the safecracker when they gave him the little thing that he was going to take into the airport, and he goes, "This one's for you," and it was looking like a dildo, and he was like, "All right." Thought that was hilarious.
I have to say, when the hacker was like, "Yeah, I got the whatever it was, I don't know," and she was like, "The only problem is it looks like a bomb," and then she showed it to him, and I don't remember who said it, but they were like, "Is that not a bomb?" I actually laughed out loud at that part.
Yeah. And I don't have this written down, but this is another. You just reminded me of it when you said that. I liked it because it was so stupid when they were trying to figure out how to fly the plane under the plane, and the Indian guy was like, I can't do that. There's just too, like, I don't know how to make that happen with the technology we have. And Kevin Hart's like, well, if anyone can do it, it's you. And they stand there for 3 seconds. And then he's like, you're right. I got it figured out. I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Everything was so easy to them in this scene. And I think that's why it was so disappointing.
Yes. David, say something.
I'm just listening. I'm just sad about this movie.
I just wanted to make sure we could still hear you.
So because I'm usually interjecting, and I'm just over here like, I fucking hate this movie.
He's like, let's get through this shit fucking podcast.
Yeah.
My number 2 scene is the second plane fight. In the landing of the 2 planes.
Anytime you have a stripper pole rise up and hit someone in the nuts,
it's gonna make my top 4.
I would say, like, I had a hard time picking 4, and the only reason that wasn't my number 1 is for no reason at all. Like, that was the only good scene in the movie, in my opinion. The movie sucked, but that scene was okay.
After BJ was doing his top 4, I'm looking at my Mount Rushmore, and I'm like, why didn't I put that as my number 1? Because it was the only good scene I liked in the movie. But whatever. My number 1 scene is the main lift. I like the thing breaking in the bathroom. There was a little bit of suspense there. The faking the Mile High Club I thought was funny. This is the only part that I laughed out loud in this movie was the handicapped guy freaking out on his coworker and just straight up going, you should really look at your unexamined prejudices. Thought that was hilarious. You had Vincent D'Onofrio pretending to be old. Slightly funny there. The plane fight, and got a good fight scene in it. And like BJ said, out of nowhere, Kevin Hart knows jujitsu and kung fu and other shit. Like, come on.
Yeah, and like, I get she's an Interpol agent, but she's like in the art heist division, and she's just taking out, I'm assuming, essentially trained assassins.
Yeah. Like, come on.
Yeah, this movie really does have an AI feel to it. I can't get that out of my head ever since BJ said, because there were so many threads that just led to nowhere. Like, who was that guy's name? You said dressing old, whatever his name is in the
Vincent
movie.
D'Onofrio.
Yeah, well, he just had so many like comic things that started, like him being old on there, him doing this, and it went nowhere. Like, remember when they were in the house? You're like, oh, I love Oliver, or whatever the character's name is, and he sat down on the couch, and that joke went nowhere. They went nowhere.
It was Oliver,
with it.
and you could have and that's, I feel like that's the only joke that could have gone somewhere, because his title was the Master of Disguise, kind of, and you could have built on that, because the only thing he disguised himself was different versions of old people. He just played the old guy, and he's already old.
Yeah.
But anyways, those are my Mount Rushmore.
Speaking of that, I just want to add this here. It just came to my mind. The introduction of the crew. This is by far the worst I've ever seen that done. Where it was basically like, here's the safecracker, here's the hacker, here's the engineer, here's the master of disguise, here's the pilot. I'm like, that's it?
Yeah. It was. I just love how everything, like you said, everything came easy. Like, she's the driver. It said driver, not really pilot. She's the driver. And then it's just like, you need to fly this plane. She's like, oh, I don't know if I can. It's like, yes, you can. She's like, you're right, I can. I'm like, fuck you. It's just like, God, that made me so mad. Like, I could just fly now.
I'm pretty sure this movie was written by AI, because the writer on IMDb is named Daniel Kunka. There's no picture of him, and he's only written 2 things. This and a John Cena movie from 2009 called 12 Rounds. How do you go from 2009 to 2024 and not write anything?
Yeah, it wasn't
There's
even
your
like
proof. The proof's in the pudding. So they say.
Yeah, like he's not even a staff writer on Sons of Anarchy or something.
Nothing. He's got 2 things on his IMDb credit.
Cool. Well, just kill this fucking segment.
Yeah.
Something I'm actually interested in. Who has not done the heist leader role in a movie that you really want to see? Because it took me about 0.5 seconds to think of the answer, and it's Ryan Gosling needs to do a heist movie where he's the leader of the heist team.
Funny, because as you said that question, I thought without skipping to beat Ryan Gosling. And then I was thinking about other movies he'd done, and like Drive and what's that other movie? Doesn't matter. Just a real quiet type person. I actually don't want Ryan Gosling as a leader of a heist movie. I'm going Ryan Reynolds.
He did one.
Did he?
Yeah, it was kind of a half-ass heist type thing. It's called Red Notice. It's also a Netflix movie. It has The Rock in it.
Oh yeah, with Gal Gadot. I saw that movie too. It was not good.
You ever heard of it?
Forgot that he
Red
was in a
Notice.
heist movie.
It has
Fuck. I've seen it.
Gal Gadot.
Maybe
Yeah.
Netflix needs to just stop doing original Netflix movies.
Is there anyone that you want to see in a heist movie?
My mind went to Ryan Reynolds, like
It kicked him off of Atla too. I'm just like, it's an Air Force base. How's the Wi-Fi so bad there?
Well, we lost David for a second. We're having some technical difficulties. Let's do some trivia and facts while we're waiting on him, though. Jacob, I know there's usually not much for new movies. What do you got for this?
Well, we already went over the places that they filmed. They actually filmed in these places. The one thing I didn't say about that is the scene shot in Venice, Italy. They used over 400 extras between people in carnival masks and tourists.
Wow. I don't remember that many people in that scene.
I don't either, but whatever. All right, all my general trivia, not a whole lot, but at about an hour and 17 minutes in, when Jorgensen meets with the woman from Leviathan, a large painting of the sailboat hanging on the wall is Rembrandt's Christ in the Storm on the Sea of Galilee. It was stolen from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston on March 18th, 1990.
I want to be an art thief.
Me too. I would be down for that. This movie bears some similarities, except if I was an art thief, I would only steal art from former Nazis that still have the stolen art.
Nice.
Because I'm a good guy.
One of my favorite Twitter threads that always shows up to me is people making fun of the British Museum of Art, where somebody stole something from the British Museum of Art and they were like, it needs to go back where it belongs. And someone's like, yeah, the Congo.
Perfect. David, are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
We can hear you. We've moved on to trivia because we had technical difficulties.
Okay, did I miss all of it, or are you at starting the trivia? Because I was curious.
We are in it. The one that you just missed. I mean, you didn't miss anything. You missed two, and the one that you just missed was whenever you're in the main bad guy's house, the picture on the back of his wall is Rembrandt's Christ Storm on the Sea of Galilee, which was stolen from a museum in Boston in 1990. And BJ and I were just talking about how we would want to be art thieves because we could steal art from the British Museum and return it to where it came from. As BJ has said, this movie bears some similarities to the Italian Job movies. They all begin in Venice with a boat chase, and the main heist is stealing bars of gold. The bar in Brussels where Cyrus meets with Harry is actually the Crown Liquor Saloon in Belfast, Northern Ireland, one of the oldest bars in Belfast and famous for its layout of small private booths where the conversation between them take place.
We need more bars like that. They're all too noisy.
Agreed. David, you still here?
I hope so.
Just had to make sure.
Yeah.
At $2,000 an ounce, 500 million gold would weigh 7.8 tons. Just in case y'all were curious, I always enjoy that at a heist movie, seeing how much the stuff would actually weigh, because whatever the heist is does not account for the weight
We
or
did
the time
math.
it does to do it.
We did the math before you came onto the podcast.
Oh, well, I didn't do the math. I just looked it up on IMDb, you fucks.
Yeah, because we were talking about how I hated that it showed that gold would have been way more than that, first of all. And when they went down to the safe in the luggage of a passenger plane, where the fuck was everybody's bags? Like, all they had was just the heist stuff.
Don't worry
You
about
have
it.
a whole. It's fucking me. It still bugs me. Like, not one piece of luggage down there. Not one.
How did the guys that loaded the safe? How were they not like, huh? Why is there two safes in here?
Yeah,
That's weird.
Even if there only was one safe. Let's just say you're telling me that he had enough time to open the safe, take out all the gold, throw it out of the plane, replace the gold, and then close it. Like, you did not have that much time. It just makes me so
David,
mad.
did you see that guy? He clearly works out. He could have done it.
Oh my god.
I saved the last trivia on purpose because we're all punny guys. Two aspects of the midair heist were lifted from other films. The two jets flying in close proximity, then diverting the one carrying the loot, was in Rough Cut from 1980. And swapping gold loaded on a flight with other cargo on the plane was done in 2001's Heist.
Like, I'm okay with reusing stuff from other movies. I get it. We're in all these, most of this, it's like The Simpsons. This has all been done before. The Simpsons have done everything. I'm just mad at the poor execution. You know, that's what I'm mad about.
Yeah. I mean, heist movies are all essentially the same, right? There's a group of people and they have to steal something. The plan goes awry. They improvise. They steal it anyway. And there's usually a twist they didn't tell you about that they show you at the end. That's every heist movie. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's just not done in a good way.
Yeah, I feel like if Kevin Hart had to have been one of the main producers on here to give him the lead role, because none of all the other casting made semi good sense. You know, I don't know. AI. That's who did this movie.
Yep, that was AI. That was my trivia and facts, guys. BJ, is there any way we have a movie impersonation for this movie?
I don't have one for this movie, other than, is there a more generic title to a heist movie than Lift?
I think I just said it. 2001's Heist.
Yeah. This movie might as well have been called Heist or Steal It or just, I don't know. I have nothing. I don't know. There's nothing that stands out in this movie to do an impression of.
Nope.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I was thinking about just now going, we could all like, I don't know. Our impression of how we would set up the team, but I don't know.
Nope, we're not going to do one. Fuck it. I'm tired of talking about this shit movie. Final thoughts on the movie in general. I want to hear BJ's bullshit ass rating first.
You know, when it got done, I was like, yeah, I had a pretty good time watching that. But like 4 days later, I don't remember shit from this movie. There's problems galore, but it's still a heist movie that I had no problem watching. We say average is a 6 on this podcast. This movie is below average. It is a 5.5. Just because when I watched it, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I didn't hate watching that. But 4 days, I don't remember anything. A week from now, like, I might forget I saw this movie.
Okay, I think 5.5 is still reaching. David.
Yeah, there's two. I try to watch movies where I don't try to analyze them at least my first time through. And this movie, I will not be watching a second time. If someone puts this movie on, I'm leaving the room. Well, no, I just there's too many things wrong with it that I couldn't help but almost analyze it. Where I'm like, it's a heist movie. I don't want to think too hard. I want to enjoy it. I like the twist is coming. I know. I'm going to try not to guess what it is and just enjoy it. And I saw everything coming in it. Nothing was a surprise. So I'm going to give it 4.0.
Cool. I hated every minute of this movie. I shouldn't say every minute. The first scene I did enjoy because I thought it was going to be a halfway decent heist movie when I first started.
That's why I got a 4 from me.
Well, that's going to be why my score is even lower than yours, because it set me up to be kind of excited, and then I had to force myself to pay attention to figure out 4 fucking scenes for my podcast. So I'm going 2.7.
Wow. I really
That's your lowest score yet?
I think that's my lowest score yet. I hated this movie.
Yep.
All right. Well, should they remake this? Yes. Remake it and make it better. Don't put Kevin Hart in the lead. Kevin Hart can literally be anyone else on the heist team. He could be the fucking love interest.
Yeah, I don't care. Just like I said, you had to really honestly do a prequel of the heist being the first heist they did.
Yeah.
That seems like a way more interesting heist.
Do a prequel and just focus on the art, the stealing the art stuff. Because it sounded like they clearly had done all of that way more than any other heist. They were stealing art stuff.
Yeah, can I just say real quick, I forgot to say this. It really bothered me that these were like international like thieves and they were wanted by Interpol. Yet Kevin Hart's house was in a multi-million-dollar skyscraper room. Like just there. Like not even hiding. It really bothered me.
David, he probably had that house under another name.
I don't care. I just don't care. My point being is it was just too obvious. It's not like, I don't know. It was like, I'm not trying to hide. Like, hello. Like, this bothered me.
Are y'all ready for someone that gave this movie a 10 out of 10?
There's no way anyone gave this movie a 10 out of 10.
Richard Crosby 12 sure did. He titled it
Big Dick Crosby.
He titled it, oh my God, that is why he named his name that. That's awesome.
I love that Jacob didn't keep that.
And the 12 probably stands for inches.
That's exactly what it stands for.
You know what, Big Dick Crosby? I disagree with your rating of this movie, but just off of username alone, you are welcome on the pod, my friend. Hell yeah. Anyways, titled Gold, Planes, Kev's AP Watch, Venice, Goodies, Baddies, Outcast. Everything had an exclamation mark if you wondered why I read that so excited. It's the end of a hard week, and I wanted a straightforward, fun, fast, and entertaining film, and this delivered. That's why I gave it a 10. It's that simple. It's a heist movie. There's a crew. There's something to steal. It's larger than life and totally implausible. Nothing groundbreaking or new. You know the dance, Chief. So dancing reader, just remember that Kevin Hart's an entertainer, and he entertains, and he's good at it. So don't think about anything else. Just crash back with your drink and your snacks, turn your phone off, crank up the sound, and allow yourself to disconnect. Join Kevin and his band of criminal misfits. Hang out in their very expensive luxury London loft and allow yourself to be entertained for an hour or so and then resume your life. You got this.
Even that review sounds like a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
It does, but that if I only read that review, I'd watch this movie.
That's
fair.
Yeah. Because if this movie was a 7 out of 10, like, hey, great, cool. Saw a fun hour, 45-minute heist movie. Great.
Yeah. All right. 1 out of 10 from
Jacob
Tim.
Ekus. Oh.
Yeah, fair. From Tim Litman 3506. Titled "Made as a Tax Write-Off." I knew exactly what to expect before I started watching. I put my brain in a drawer, suspended reality, and began. 10 minutes in, and I resorted to contemplating what I have done wrong in my life to warrant this film being made, let alone being made available to watch. It looks pretty. That's it. Awful acting, cliched speech, rubbish CGI. I don't pay for Netflix. My partner does. I canceled my subscription last year because they only make dog do shows and films, and this is the top of the heap. I'm a fan of apocalyptic films, the ones where the world ends. I longed for a meteor to smash into the plane to end my misery.
Honestly, that's a brilliant idea for a movie. A movie that's just like terrible for like 30 minutes. And just when you're about to turn the movie off, a meteor comes in and just destroys everything and the movie's over.
Yes. Yep.
So I'm gonna backtrack because I have to read this all as one thing, but I knew you'll laugh at that. I'm a fan of apocalyptic films, the ones where the world ends. I longed for a meteor to smash into the planet to end my misery. I'd rather watch my man in the shower than watch 5 minutes of this film.
Honestly, like the first 10 minutes was kind of fun.
Yes.
But it was like 30 minutes into it when you were like, okay, this movie kind of sucks.
Yep. But that was quality. That was a good bad review. I enjoyed that one. Should people watch this movie? The answer is hell no.
Literally watch any other heist movie.
Let's see. This podcast is at 1 hour and 5 minutes. We had some technical difficulties. It'll probably come out in 50 minutes. We can save you an hour. Just listen to the pod. In fact, if you don't want to listen to this pod, wouldn't blame you. This movie sucked asshole.
If you're like, I've already seen Ocean's 13 7 times, watch Ocean's 13 for an 8th time. That's not even the good one.
Yeah, this movie was the experiment of like, can Kevin Hart play a serious role? It's still undetermined if he can, because it's definitely he can't in the heist movie. So
I wouldn't call like a heist leader like a serious role. It's like, can Kevin Hart do a movie star role?
But he played it serious. That's what annoyed me.
Well, he played it like a movie, so he didn't play it like a drama serious. He played it like a movie star should have played it, and I'm not sure he's a movie star. He's a comedian.
Yeah, he's a comedian who branched off and did movies.
He ain't no Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not Dead Poet Society.
Well, I hope everyone who made it this far in this podcast enjoyed the bad review.
Yeah, that was a highlight of the podcast.
Thanks for coming in. This is us at IRMFT. Jacob, BJ, our number one listener and number one guest, David. We are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the TikTok we never use, the Reddit we never use, the email we never use. But you know what? Interact with us. Maybe we'll use it, because we actually got some interaction on the Shrek post. One person that I used to work with. Thanks, Dustin, if you made it this far in this podcast. Shout out to you, my friend.
Yeah, and David's on probation from picking out movies for a while.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all.
Yeah. David's not allowed to pick out movies. We'll be picking the movies from here on out for the next little bit.
I did kind of enjoy how bad a heist movie needs to be for me to not like it.
We now know the standard, and this is it. This is the bad heist movie.
David, I just wanted to say, BJ keeps referring to this movie as Little Caesars. Little Caesars, I would to this day still wreck Little Caesars. To me, this movie.
My analogy is wrong. This movie
To
is
me-
worse than Little Caesars.
Okay, because to me, this movie is those little small dollar Tostito frozen pieces that you get and fold in half and eat like a sandwich.
Oh, that was a college staple for me.
Yeah, but that's how it is. Because even you can get pretty okay. Like sometimes I even prefer like what's it called? DiGiorno. It's not delivery. It's DiGiorno. Like it's not even that quality of a movie. You know, it's not even
No.
like I can't even go to the store and pop in a frozen pizza. Like this is the kind of pizza you can cook in the microwave.
I'll probably never ever have the ability to say this joke ever again, and it'll get the podcast canceled. So worth it. But this also goes right along with this how bad this movie was. If you've ever been tricked that DiGiorno is better than delivery, you've probably been tricked by a tranny.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Until next time, that's us, and I remember my first time. Bye.